Hi, I'm Amber. I used to go by Pied Piper in another life. I actually started kind of going through on my YouTube, the YouTube channels and the videos I uploaded, and it's it's gut wrenching. In the videos, I was suicidal. I was addicted. I was actively using. I was mostly in hotels or in strip club dressing rooms. It's tough to watch. It really is. And ever since I kind of took a trip down on memory lane, I guess, it's been kind of prompted on my heart to start, vlogging, which apparently there's a name for it now. Um, so I've been thinking about it, been thinking about it. And I kept saying, well, where am I going to start? Well, where am I going to start? Um, I've been sober. It'll be 6 years in February. Recovery has been very good to me. It's been a lot of hard work. I absolutely regret nothing, um, simply for the fact that it was this journey right here that helped me find, some of my true self. I mean, of course, I'm still trying to figure the rest out. I mean, who isn't? If you're not good for you, shoot me some pointers. Um, I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm kind of nervous. Um, oh, yes. Okay, so recovery, been very good to me. I went into a prison reentry program almost 6 years ago. I lived there for over about 19 months. Part of that prison reentry program was full time employment. I needed to take care of my probation requirements. Plus, I was required to celebrate recovery meetings a week, church, a step study, and I did volunteer to do a Bible study, and it was called The Armor of God, and it still impacts my life to this day. So, thank you, First Baptist Broken Arrow ladies. Um, so, I know the first year of recovery, I is when I realized that drugs were just they were a problem. Don't get me wrong, but they were really how I was coping. It was a symptom, if you will, and it took me a year to kind of figure that out. Because once I stopped doing drugs, I was starting to have to deal with a lot sober, and once the drugs went away, that wasn't my main problem. My main problem was men. It was sex. It was hustling, making fast money, making that fast cash. It was the lifestyle. The drugs were there, but again, not the main problem for me anyway. Um, my second year of recovery, I'm working my steps, and slowly, things start to be peeled back, and I start to be fully aware of other things. And it was a hard pill to swallow. My third year of recovery, I could definitely tell that I was getting worked on emotionally. And I honestly, that's really when I realized how emotionally needy I am and how broken I've been. Uh, yeah. Awareness, not in denial anymore. Definitely a good place to be. Still like shit though. Ugh, all this work. So I once I completed my probation, the director of court services told me as soon as my record was going to get expunged, he would offer me a job a year after that expunge date. Well, my year rolls around, and he actually called me and was like, I thought you were coming after your year was up. I thought you were coming back. I got a job for you. And I was like, you're serious? Like, okay, so here we go. So I went and I interviewed for the job, and they gave me a position at an outpatient treatment facility, also where I was a client at. So, I mean, I don't know if you believe in higher power or providence or anything, but for me, that's what that was. I've been working in that same facility. I'm now a case manager and I do peer recovery support for 2 specialty court dockets. I absolutely love my job. It's very satisfying. It helps me in my recovery to get to help other folks. I'm well aware that my way is not the only way, that what worked for me may not work for the others. I get that recovery is non-linear. I get that. I understand that. I am super, super blessed to get to be able to help folks find their own path. It keeps me humble. It also keeps it all. It's a definite reminder of where I was and where I could very easily be back. I know I'm well aware now that I am just one bad decision away from living a totally different life, and that's truth right there. So I know I just kind of fast forwarded through all that really quick, and maybe slowly I'll develop a game plan in my head where I start to kind of backtrack some of this. But today something kind of profound happened to me, and that's what prompted me. Today's the day. I'm going to start the vlog. This is it. And so, okay, so long story short, I moved out of my significant other's house September of 2019. There was a lot of emotional abuse and emotional neglect, and every time I was trying to have an adult conversation about it, my feelings were dismissed. And if anybody knows me at all, that definitely doesn't set well with me. Especially being an emotionally traumatized adult from childhood trauma and the trauma that I stepped into in my 20s as well. And, he knew my trauma. He's aware of my trauma. He's the one that would wake me up whenever I would start screaming in the middle of the night because I was having a night terror. So when I was being dismissed emotionally, it hurt. It hurt bad. And when I felt like I was hitting a brick wall and I realized that my environment wasn't my peace anymore, is when I said to myself, well, if a client told me about this, of what was going on, of course we would talk it out, and the client would definitely for sure have to come up with their own decision. I don't sway one way or the other. I ask questions, and so I started asking myself questions too, and that's when I realized how important my environmental wellness is. That's when I realized that I couldn't get sober over almost 6 years ago until I removed myself out of the trap house I was living in. I realized one day in my peer recovery support training that my environmental wellness needs to be top priority, because I can't experience peace in a place that I'm feeling very chaotic in. I can't get well in the same environment that I got sick in. I can't work on me when I'm not feeling invited into my own home. And for me and my recovery, that is very important to me. So I in the midst of, before I actually decided to move out, my car, rest her soul, poor Aurora, she took a giant shit on the way to work one day, and she didn't start back up for me. So here I am without a car. I drive from Coweta to Tulsa every day. Mind you, my significant other never offered me to let me use his car, and never offered to even take me to work. So I had to ask my dad to borrow his car. Not a big deal. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I I chose to choose my battles when it came to that. So I just said, fuck it. I'll handle it like I have this entire time. So I get a car and I'm driving back and forth to work, and then I needed a new car. So it took me a week or two. I'm going to car lots. I'm test driving cars. First big girl purchase, by the way. And I found a Jeep, '05 black Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. That's my girl. She's the rider. I call her Whoa Black Betty. I was super pumped when I finally got it, and I did it by myself. I didn't have a co-signer. I paid what I needed to pay. I did what I had to do. Go me. Not to mention, this is my first big girl purchase, right, in recovery. And so I roll up to our house at the time. I roll up in my Jeep. He didn't even come outside and look at it. Okay, that's fine. I took some other people in the house for a ride. He still didn't ask to come see it. He didn't even bother to look at it. Didn't acknowledge the vehicle at all for over 4 days. So at the end of that third day, I said, I can't stay here. Why is he not even acknowledging my accomplishment right now? I still don't understand it, and he won't even address it now to this day. That's fine. That's not on me. That's him. And so at the end of that third day, still not saying a fucking word about this about this new car I just got, new to me, about this new Jeep I just got. I said, I need to pray. I need to pray about this. And so I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and it's when I made the decision, a conscious decision, that I needed to move out. That maybe me moving out would get his attention. Okay, so I moved out. Moved out in September 2019. We still continued to work on us. We were doing okay. Not at first. The Lord really revealed some stuff to me in the middle of all that. He actually told me to sign a year lease. I would have my answer. So I signed a year lease in September. In December, what's done in the dark always comes to light, and that goes for everyone. Some stuff started to come up, and it made total sense to me. No wonder why I felt like I wasn't enough for him. Blah 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 blah. Just the usual. Well, I don't know how usual that is. The usual for what I found out was happening. And so it all made sense, and I prayed about it, and I knew the way when I prayed to God, and he said who he is now is not who you're supposed to be with. And I knew the way I heard that meant that the Lord needed to work on him. And I know more than anyone, that God's love can change people, because it changed me. So, okay, that's fine. We're all right. And I became excited. But before I got excited, I sat in my apartment and I grabbed my heart after I set up the Christmas tree and all the lights were turned off, and I just sat there and I prayed. And when he told me that who he is now is not who you're supposed to be with, I grabbed my heart and I cried. I grieved him. I was heartbroken. I still am, but that is another conversation. And I grabbed my heart and I cried and I cried and I cried and I cried. I knew, again, that God's love can change people. I got antsy and anxious within the following 6 months. And I went out with someone, and that just kind of blew up in my face. I don't think that him and I would have even survived had I not done that. But it kind of seems like now, since he's aware I had a date, that he's using that to defend how he treated me. And it fucking hurts. And I know I'm not the easiest person to deal with. I'm aware of my own character defects. But I also am completely aware that this is not all my fault. But I do accept my own responsibility. It's not up to me to decide how he accepts his own. I get that. I have to let that go. So, my best friend died in March. And I actually had an appointment to get some things fixed on my Jeep. But after she died, obviously things were a little on the back burner. So when it finally came time to handle up on my business, the warranty had expired. But of course I still had the issues going on with my car. So I'm talking to him one day as I'm leaving my job, and he was like, hey, did you ever get your car fixed? It was an oil leak. And I was like, no, I had the appointment, but then Beth died, and now my warranty's expired, so I'm going to have to pay out of pocket. And he was like, oh, man, yeah, you should ask your boyfriend. And I was like, what? My boyfriend? Who are you talking about? And he was like, you should ask your man. I'm your man. Ask your man to help you out. And I was like, well, Chris, I said, well, you've known I've had this issue since I got the car. You've never offered to help me with it financially, so I just kind of left it alone. I just figured I'd just save up on my own and just do what I had to do to handle my business. And he was like, all you got to do is ask, and I can help you out. Which I was grateful that he said that, but I was kind of shocked, like, where's this coming from? But again, God's love. I'm like, okay, you're right. All right. And so, but we start bickering at that point. And I say to him, I don't know why you think we don't need professional help. We're literally having the same fight over and over. And he said, no, Amber, you know what? I think you are right. I think we do need professional help. Why don't you set that up? But, oh, wait, let me guess. You want me to pay for that too. And I thought, what the fuck? Because you literally just said I should ask you for financial help on this, but now you're like condescending, and I feel like you're trying to trap me over this. Because now I'm talking about, counseling, professional help for us. So, that cut right through me. It really did. It made me lose some respect for him. But I was still willing. I was just still willing. So, a month or so goes by. And we're on the phone. And, he says, I said to him, I just need my home to be a place of peace. Some days my job is really hard and I take in a lot. I need to be able to come home and unwind and be held and it be solace instead of me coming into another fucking war zone. It's bad for me. I can't do it. And he said, Amber, you could have quit your job a long time ago. I don't even know why you're still working. I lost it. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I cried every day for 9 months, leaving my daughter because I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go to work. I wanted to stay and take care of my child. And so for him to just tell me out of nowhere that I could have quit my job a long time ago, which is something he never mentioned to me, is when I knew this is over. This is fucking over. This is over. And I think it was anger. And I really think I can look back now and see that we still should have moved forward with the counseling. And I should not have went out, but I did. That was a reaction. I see that. Again, I'm not perfect. But to dismiss my feelings is hurtful. It still hurts. So, which brings me back to today, why I started this. So I have my daughter. in the car. I'm taking her to the meet and greet or meet and spot, whatever, where him and I exchange her so I can go to work. And I'm driving there, and I'm thinking, man, 2020's really kicked my heart in the ass. And as soon as I say it in my head, because this is in my head, go figure, I look in my rearview mirror and I see my little baby's hands up in the air. And I turn around and look at her, and she's got her eyes closed. And she's listening to the praise and worship on the radio. And I was just like, right. 2020 did kick my ass, and it is kicking my ass, but that's okay. Because regardless, we will be okay. My daughter and I will be fine. Regardless, he is good. Regardless, it's going to be okay. And so I pulled up to the meeting spot, and I always sat in back, and I'd pull her out of her car seat so he could put her car seat in his car. And I'm sitting there holding her, and then he comes to get the baby, and I was like, so, crazy thing happened. It was so sweet. Listen to what your baby did. And I see now where I messed up. So I said, I was just sitting there thinking how 2020 kicked my ass, or kicked my heart's ass, and then I look back, and your little baby's got her hands up in the air praising Jesus, and then I thought, all right. And he looked me dead in the eye and said, 2020 hasn't been that bad. What? How can you say that is what I'm thinking in my head. Like, I literally had no words. And I get that he might hate me, and to be honest, I kind of feel the same way. I have waves of hate that come through for this dude because of how he's doing me still in this split. And I just sat there, and I got in the car, and as I pull up to work, and I get out, and my head, it's over and over and over. And this is when I have to say, Lord, you got to take it. You got to take it, or I'm going to obsess. Lord, you got to take it, or I'm going to go kick in a door. Lord, you got to take it, or I'm going to break someone's neck. Lord, you got to take this, or I'm going to torture myself. And immediately he told me, stop sharing things with him. And I knew he was right. Because we're not friends. I'm not trying to be friends with him, to be completely honest. I'm just trying to share experiences with his daughter. And I see now that I should have just told the part about his daughter instead of my personal issue. I get that now. I see it. But doesn't work out for after the fact. So I've actually been working on texting him a lot less, because we still communicate about our child, obviously. We usually text about pick up, drop off, whatever, what have you. And so I've just been starting to really take care of everything when we see each other that morning. Hey, I think we can meet at this time, blah, 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 blah. I'll text you if it's different. Okay, fine. So I have this really bad habit. Well, it's not a habit. I like to just say, hey, how's the baby? And he said, hey, she's fine. She's eating lunch with her sister, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. And then I went off. I'm going to read it. Mind you, I shouldn't have done this either, but I lost my shit. I said, your comment this morning just proves how heartless you are. This year hasn't been that bad. You've been gaslighting me since the beginning of this year. You could have quit your job already. Let me guess, you want me to pay for counseling too. When Matt, I didn't ask you to fix my Jeep, so that was the slow demise. And then my best friend died. I know, regardless, God still has me and your daughter. He blesses us. I'm glad we aren't together, but I'm glad we aren't together. And it's because of your lack of empathy for me. You always It's because your lack of empathy for me. Because you've never had empathy for me. And it makes me feel more alone while I was lying next to you. So there's some of the reason why I chose to move out September 2019. You also have a 4-page letter that you never acknowledged. You've never acknowledged my pain, my hurt, or anything good for that matter. You shouldn't have to wonder why I left, but denial runs deep. So keep bitching about me and running from this. I've always told you I'm emotionally needy. You told me if there was anything in the beginning, he did tell me this. You told me if there was anything I needed from you to tell you because you wanted to be the man of my dreams. I wanted us to heal and show love. And that's not really that hard. I pray to God that this relationship works for you, because if you break another woman, you're the evil one. Yeah, he's in another relationship already. Don't get me started on that. And he texts me, okay, Amber. I'm like, yeah, it is okay. It really is. Okay, Amber is just something you say to avoid. You're a good dude, but you're broken too. 2 broken people can work, but it takes communication and acceptance. 2 things you still don't do. I'm not playing your games. It is what it is. I wish you nothing but the best. This is not a fucking game. This is someone's fucking life. And it is what it is a pussy ass comment. He just told me whatever. And I started shaking because I trusted him with a lot. And now he can say things to me like, the demons you have, the demons that haunt you, you deserve those. Now he tells me that my feelings don't matter, and it just fucking infuriates me, and I don't understand it. I am extremely heartbroken over this breakup and my friend's death. It's been really fucking hard for me. So it is a little, like, disheartening to see him just living his best fucking life right now when I struggled right in front of him for so long, and it hurts. I had a very profound conversation with my therapist the other day, and she asked me, what's wrong? What are you struggling with? And I told her, I'm struggling with accepting the things I cannot change. And, you know, it had to do with both of those traumas that happened this year. And she asked me, well, when's the last time you affirmed yourself? What do you mean? Give me an example. When's the last time you told yourself that you're doing the best you can, and that's okay? I got emotional when she asked me that, because this entire 15 months of this separation, I have not talked positively to myself one fucking time. And then, so I started to actually affirm myself, especially like when it goes and goes and goes in my head, you know, hey, you did the best you could. Until you were about to lose yourself, you did the best you could. And honest to goodness, that has honestly helped me peacefully step into accepting the things I cannot change. Obviously, I still had an issue. Progress, not perfection. And so I'm affirming myself and I'm talking it out. And I called one of my besties, and I told her what had happened, and she told me, Amber, you're going to have to turn that part of you off. And she's right, and I know that. And I've been knowing that, which is why I've tried to keep it to a minimum, why we meet in public, you know, and I know this, and I told her that too, and I cried, and I hurt, and then I read something, and I want to read it. We can be loving, trusting people and still not allow ourselves to be abused. We don't have to let people do whatever they want to us. Not all requests are legitimate. Not all requests require a yes. Life may test us. People may seek out our weak spots. We may see a common denominator to the limits that are being tested in our life. We have a weak spot in one area. We may find ourselves tested repeatedly in that area by family, friends, coworkers, and neighbors. Life, people, our higher power, and the universe may be trying to teach us something specific. When we learn that lesson, we will find that problems with that area dwindle. The boundary has been set. The power has been owned. For now, the lesson has been learned. We may need to be angry with certain people for a while, people who have pushed our tolerance over the edge. That's okay. Soon we can let go of that anger and exchange it for gratitude. These people have been here to help us learn about what we don't want, what we won't tolerate, and how to own our power. We can thank them for what we have learned, how much we are willing to tolerate. How far shall we let others go with us? How much of our anger and intuition shall we discount? Where are our limits? Do we have any? If we don't, we're in trouble. There are times to not trust others, but instead trust ourselves and set boundaries with those around us. Today I will be open to new awareness about the areas where I need healthier boundaries. I will forego my naive assumption that the other person is always right. I will exchange that view for trusting myself, listening to myself, and having and setting healthy boundaries from the language of letting go. I know what I need to do. And I'm going to walk that out. I'm going to try my best to walk it out. I don't want to say it's okay that I'm the only one grieving. It kind of hurts that I'm the only one grieving. But I was in it. I found a thing that said, if we want romantic love, we have to practice self-love first. And, I practice self-care, but I think with that simple question that she asked me, I realized that I'm really not practicing self-love either. So I really have been doing that lately. I have made a commitment to talking positively to myself. And I have also been working on my patience with myself, because I know I didn't get so broken overnight. And I know that I dismissed a lot of red flags because he's a good person. And I see where I've ended up because of it now. And clearly I'm the only one here. And it's sobering. It's sobering. It's heartbreaking. But that's okay. Because today, specifically today, I can say that I'm glad that today happened. I realized how very, very capable that I am. I do want to read something else that is on my ministry page. You go on Facebook, search the hashtag HTN. It's for her true name. That's a whole other story, whole other video. Just for today, I will understand that accepting the things I cannot change is a process too. I will affirm myself that I am doing the best I can and show myself grace. For this moment, I will trade my heartache for peace. And if that starts off with me doing a video blog, then here we are. I really appreciate you guys listening. I'm looking forward to doing more video blogs. I'm hoping one day that this can be the basis of my book, because yes, I'm going to write a book. I am really excited about what recovery has done for me, and I'm really, I don't want to say excited. I've definitely put things in place to help me out emotionally, to help me process and deal with my broken heart. Because I don't want to stay right here where I'm at emotionally. It hurts. So I am making a conscious decision to do things to help me with that. So please stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. Email me if you want. It's her true name, all one word, HERTRUENAME 252 at gmail.com. Her true name, 252 at gmail.com. Email if you'd like. I'll see ya.